everyone, it's Kendall here, and it's time for everyone's favorite story time. But before I get started, I have two announcements. One is that the day that you're watching this is Sunday, and that means that it is live stream day. Woo! I always love when you guys come out for live stream. It's always great conversation. We always talk about some really cool stuff, so you should always come and join me there. I'm on Africa TV, so I'll put the link to Africa TV down there. Some people were saying that the link didn't work, so I just sent you directly to Africa TV, and my name on there is just Kenny. No JD, but just Kenny. But a lot of times I also am just like on the front page at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so just come hang out with me. It's always a lot of fun. And number two, which is way more of a big deal than the first one, is that I am going back to Korea. So I'll be in Seoul at the end of this month and a little bit into August. So if you're gonna be there, I actually wanted to have my first ever meet and greet. It's gonna be fun. I'm really excited. Tentative date for right now is the 29th of July. That depends on like people's availability. If I find that a lot more people are available later, then I'll do it later. But as of right now, I'm saying the 29th, that's a Saturday. So if you're gonna be in Seoul in that general time frame, please let me know. And of course, assuming you would like to meet me. So just let me know. And based on how many people answer, that kind of depends on what we actually do. Because if it ends up being like a smaller group of us, then I think that's equally as cool as big groups, because you can probably like have more interaction. So we could just go to like a coffee shop and just hang out together. But if it's more of you guys, we can figure out something, I guess, more involved that we could do. I don't know how this works is what I'm getting at, so I kind of need to know who's gonna be there. So again, that's July 29th tentatively, but I will update any solid plans before that date comes. So please be sure to check out my Instagram and Twitter, and I'll be posting like a dedicated video to it when that has all been like settled and everything. Oh, and also if you plan to bring people, let me know. Like, I just need to know how many people. That was very long-winded. Okay, but today's story time though. So in my last video, I started talking about the kind of the fetishization of Korean people, and that ended up sparking some really interesting conversation. And that was really the whole point of the video, like having conversation, reflecting, you know, if you disagreed with me, I'd love to hear it. Like, that's the point of that video. But some things that people brought up was like, Kendall, you made this whole video about Koreans being objectified. What about when other races get objectified, specifically black people, because I'm black. I'm like, oh girl, I got stories on that for a while too, so there's plenty. So I have a friend that I met while I was in school in the States. He was like a Korean exchange student, so he came back and forth from Korea all the time. We met because we were in like a student org together, and we had a major that we shared and stuff, so I saw him in classes. So I wouldn't say that we were like best friends per se, but he was someone that I was like, I should pop in on while I'm in Korea for the first time. This was in 2015. So I get to Korea, and he's like, hey Kendall, I just heard that you touched down. We should meet up once we're in the same area, because right now I'm in Jeju, and he said he's like chilling out in Jeju and he'll meet me when he comes back. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, whatever. And we ended up going to dinner. This is completely off topic, but just recommendation. There's a place called, I think, 8 color samgyeopsal, parsek samgyeopsal or something like that. And basically they send out samgyeopsal, and each samgyeopsal is flavored in a different sauce, and they come out with 8 of them, and it's like a rainbow of pork, and it's just amazing. So if you want a recommendation, that's a great place to go. And I noticed that he like keeps looking at his phone, which I don't have a problem with people checking their phone here and there when they're hanging out with people, because I know, like, you know, sometimes you got an email to check, sometimes, you know, emergencies come up, or sometimes you just want to check your timeline here and there. But he was like on it a lot, like a whole lot, and I was like, that's kind of rude. Like, am I not entertaining you? Like, bruh, like what? I'm hilarious. But then eventually he's like, I'm sorry, I'm looking on my phone all the time. It's just there's this girl that keeps texting me, and I'm like, oh. Because that's the type of person I am. Anybody I'm hanging out with, I'm like, I just want all of you to fall in love, because I'm a hopeless romantic. He was like, no, it's not like that. I learned more about her, and I can see why he was like, yeah, no, that's not what this is. Basically, this was a girl that he had met in Jeju. She had made it known that she was very into black culture. She was into hip-hop, and I don't know if like she brought up how she wants to meet a black person first, or if my friend had been like, oh, by the way, I have a black friend. I don't know the framing around this conversation, but my name came up. Basically, she had gotten his number and was like, let me know when you hang out with her, because I want to get to meet her. I don't have any black friends. And I was like, okay. So we're out and she's texting him incessantly. I'm like, okay, that's a little weird, but I don't want to like completely kill the idea because I'm like, oh, this could be like a great opportunity for like, you know, conversation about important issues, cross-culturalism, you know, learning more about the history of Black people and like all that, because I'm interested in the history of Korean people. So I'm like, oh wait, this might be like great. I ended up exchanging Kakao Talk information with this girl and she starts freaking out again, going on about like how she never met a Black person and how she's always wanted to meet a Black person, and I'm like, oogie. It was a little weird, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little weird, but guys, this conversation is such a blur because I was so uncomfortable. I was like, so what is something that you really like about Black culture? And she was like, I just really like hip hop because like I think Black people are just really good at dancing, especially when they do the Dougie. Also, she said Dougie in Korean and I didn't even recognize the word when I read it in Hangul. Doggy or something like that. Dogi, I don't know. I saw it and I went to my friend. I was like, what is that? He was like, oh, like Dougie, like the dance. And I was like, okay. Keep in mind, this was in 2015. When did Teach Me How to Dougie come out? 2010. So this is a solid 5 years after that song had come out, and I forgot it ever existed, to be honest with you. Side note, I had never heard that. I mean, I had heard the song a lot prior to this when it was like relevant, but I had never heard that song so much in one like day than I did when I was in Korea. It was very, very strange. She was like, yeah, I just think like when Black people Dougie, like they do it so cool and they're so confident, and I'm like, oh, okay, what Black person is Dougieing still? I didn't even know, like what situation are we in that, I mean, I don't know, maybe people still do it, maybe it's more of a classic than I'm aware of, but personally I ain't Dougieed in years. So as I'm still talking to this girl, I can feel my friend getting more and more uncomfortable. He was like, she's very clueless, I can tell. But we start talking and I'm like, yeah, well, you know, being Black is a little bit more than, you know, Dougie. You know, there's a lot of history and stuff, like, you know, if you want to look into that, that's really cool too. And I was trying to like open conversation about like Black history. Like, not that there's anything wrong with like being interested in hip hop, but it's just like there's more than hip hop, you know. I want to be that bridge between cultures, fam. It just went right over her head, and I was like, okay, maybe it's because she doesn't have the reference. I don't know. I was just trying, y'all, and that's all I ever do is just try, man, and it just wasn't working. My friend is just losing his mind laughing. I don't know if it was because he was so uncomfortable. I think he was just as uncomfortable as I was because, you know, he had spent time in the US and he realized how bad this situation was. But he was like, wow, she's very naive. I'm sorry. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool, it's whatever. So anyway, we're still talking and this girl sends me a sentence and there was one word in the sentence that I didn't know it. And so I go to my friend and I'm like, hey, what does this one word mean? And he's like, what? Yeah, what does this word mean? She said it. He was like, can I see your phone? Can I see your phone? Yeah, sure, but what's the big deal? And he was like, if she said what I think she said, I'm really, really concerned. He reads the sentence and he's like, oh my God, she really said that. And I'm like, what? And for any of you that have ever studied Korean or a lot of languages actually, you'll know that like sometimes it's not that you don't know the whole sentence, it's just one important word that you're missing, which means you kind of don't understand the entire sentence. And I was like, I don't understand, what is the problem? So she basically just said that she's in the process of getting a tan. She's in the process of getting a tan because she wants to see what it would be like to be an actual Black person. She wants to be an actual Black person, and I quote, that's what she said. I would like to experience being actually Black for real. So I'm in the process of getting a tan while I'm here in Jeju. And, but if it doesn't look good on me, I will just, you know, go back. And I was like, I had never been so taken aback in my life. And can you guys imagine not only having that happen, but having it happen in a foreign language? So I wouldn't have known how to respond in any language, but especially not in Korean. And I was just there like, I have no idea what to say to this woman. Again, my friend is like, I am so sorry. I had no idea she was like this. And I'm thinking like, well, maybe if you vetted these psychos before you come introducing them to me, that'd be great. I didn't even know what to say at this point because she didn't get any of the references I was making when I was talking about like, yeah, there's Black history and stuff, and yeah, there's like all that stuff, you know, there's a lot of like turmoil and, you know, really great things that have happened, you know, and I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, I know she ain't gonna get when I'm just basically saying like, you just said that you would like to have a semi-permanent blackface, and I'm just like, I don't know how to respond to that. So so that's what I said to her. I said, I have no idea how to respond to that. And then she starts texting my friend and she was like, I think I've made her uncomfortable. What did I do? And he's just like, I don't even know what he responded to her with, but it got to the point where we just stopped dogging. But for whatever reason, she was following me on Instagram. I think I ended up following her on Instagram before I realized she was a nut. I've since deleted her. I actually followed her for way longer because I forgot who she was on my timeline. And then I was like, wait a second. That's her! So that's who this girl is. Because she would show up every once in a while because she's in Korea, so she's on a different time zone. So she would post when I wouldn't see it. And then I was like, oh, unfollow. People of the world, don't fetishize anyone. That's what I'm getting at with both of these videos. I'm human. I like hip hop, but that's not the only music I listen to. Also, I didn't tan to get this. This is my entire life, man. That's just how it's been all this time. Please don't belittle me by saying you can put it on and then take it off. I'd really appreciate that. Just saying, just putting that out there. But I want your guys' opinion. How would you have handled this? Because I don't know, maybe I didn't handle it in the best way because I was just so taken aback. So what would you have done? And what I mean by that is like, I didn't feel like going off on her would have helped in any way because she had literally no idea what I was talking about at any point of this conversation. So like, what would you have done? Would you have still gone off on her anyway because she's ignorant, or would you have like tried even harder to make it a lesson? Would you have just done what I did, which was kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna stop talking to her? What would you have done? I really want to know, because maybe if I ever get in a similar situation, God, I hope not, but if I do ever get in a similar situation, I want to know how best to navigate this space. I have more stories about this topic, but I'll just leave those for the future. So if you like this story time, don't forget to like this story time, and of course, if you want to watch any of my other story time videos, those will be linked over here. And then if you want to see my last story time, that'll be over here. And I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye.